What if everything you thought you knew about Jungkook BTS was about to be shattered? Tonight on Jungkook Lover, we're diving into the most shocking, the most controversial, and the most unpredictable version of Jungkook ever revealed. This isn't just a new era. This feels like a rebellion, a message, a warning. Before we start, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe right now. Because what you're about to witness has army around the world questioning everything. Is this Jungkook's boldest transformation, or the beginning of something far bigger? The world did not wake up prepared for what Jungkook would unleash. There was no official countdown, no carefully scripted teaser, no familiar comfort zone for fans to hold on to. Instead, it arrived like a thunderbolt, sudden, deafening, and impossible to ignore. Within minutes, timelines exploded. Group chats went silent, then chaotic. The name Jungkook surged across platforms with a velocity that felt almost unreal, as if the internet itself was struggling to keep up. For years, Jungkook BTS had been framed as the golden standard, the prodigy, the perfectionist, the idol who seemed to master everything he touched. Vocals polished to near impossible clarity, performances precise yet emotional, an image carefully balanced between boyish charm and global superstardom. But what fans witnessed this time did not fit neatly into any familiar narrative. This was not the Jungkook they thought they knew. This was something rawer, louder, more dangerous. And that is exactly why the world couldn't look away. From the first seconds of his appearance, something felt different. The atmosphere shifted. There was an edge in his expression that hadn't been there before, or perhaps it had always been there, hidden beneath years of discipline and expectation. His eyes carried a defiance that sparked immediate debate. Was this confidence, liberation, or a deliberate provocation, aimed at shattering the image built around him since his teenage years? What made it even more unsettling was the silence surrounding it beforehand. No leaks, no hints, no reassuring explanations. Just Jungkook, stepping forward as if daring the world to keep up. Fans weren't just reacting. They were spiraling. Some felt exhilarated, calling it the most honest version of Jungkook ever shown. Others felt uneasy, questioning whether this shift was too extreme, too sudden, too risky. And that tension between excitement and fear became the fuel that turned this moment into a global phenomenon. Because this wasn't just a new hairstyle, a bold outfit, or an experimental sound, it felt like a statement, a line drawn in the sand. As clips circulated, dissected frame by frame, a pattern began to emerge. Jungkook wasn't asking for permission. He wasn't explaining himself. He wasn't softening the blow for anyone's comfort. Instead, he was presenting a version of himself that felt unapologetically wild, as if years of restraint had finally cracked open. And the timing made it even more suspicious. Why now? Why this intensity? Why this specific tone, this specific imagery, this specific energy? Speculation exploded. Some fans whispered that this was the real Jungkook finally breaking free from the expectations of idol culture. Others theorized it was a calculated artistic rebellion, a move designed to redefine his career on his own terms. A few even suggested darker interpretations, that this was a response to unseen pressure, frustration, or battles fought behind closed doors. The truth is, no one knows for sure. And that uncertainty is exactly what makes this moment so powerful. Jungkook has always been known as someone who works relentlessly, often pushing himself beyond visible limits. In past interviews, subtle hints slipped through, moments where he spoke about fear, responsibility, and the weight of being watched by millions. But those moments were usually wrapped in smiles, softened by humility. This time there was no softening. What fans saw felt confrontational in the most artistic way possible, as if Jungkook was looking directly at the audience and saying, "This is me, take it or leave it." International media quickly picked up on the shift, though no headline seemed capable of fully capturing its impact. Words like bold, unexpected, and controversial were thrown around, but none felt strong enough. Because what Jungkook presented wasn't just bold, it was destabilizing. It challenged long-held assumptions about what a global idol is allowed to be. ARMY found themselves divided yet united in obsession. Comment sections became battlegrounds of interpretation. Was this transformation empowering, showing growth and autonomy? Or was it reckless, risking alienation in an industry that thrives on control and predictability? But even those who felt conflicted couldn't deny one thing. Jungkook had everyone talking. And perhaps that was the point. There's a particular kind of courage required to disrupt your own success. To stand at the peak and choose chaos over comfort. Jungkook didn't need to do this. He could have continued delivering safe, polished perfection and remained universally adored. Instead, he chose uncertainty. He chose risk. As days passed, the shock didn't fade, it deepened. Fans began connecting dots, revisiting old performances, lyrics, and moments that suddenly felt like foreshadowing. Had Jungkook been hinting at this all along? Were there signs hidden in plain sight that everyone ignored? Because they were too comfortable with the image they'd been given? The idea was unsettling but irresistible. Some longtime fans admitted feeling like they were meeting Jungkook for the first time again, not as a boy raised under the spotlight, but as an artist reclaiming control. Others struggled with the loss of familiarity, mourning the version of Jungkook they had grown attached to. And yet both sides kept watching, because love him or question him. Jungkook had done something incredibly rare. He made people feel something intense, something unresolved. The industry watched closely, too. When an artist of Jungkook's magnitude shifts direction this drastically, it sends ripples far beyond fandoms. It challenges norms, expectations, and unspoken rules. If Jungkook can do this, what does it mean for everyone else? And still, Jungkook himself remained silent. No clarifying statements, no reassuring explanations, just presence. That silence became the loudest part of all. Every new appearance, every subtle change in demeanor, every cryptic detail became fuel for speculation. Fans weren't just consuming content anymore, they were investigating it. And the deeper they looked, the more it felt like this transformation wasn't temporary. This wasn't a phase. This felt deliberate. A turning point. There is something deeply human about watching someone you've followed for years step into a version of themselves that feels unfiltered. It's thrilling and terrifying at the same time. And perhaps that's why this moment has resonated so powerfully across cultures and languages. Jungkook didn't just shock people. He forced them to confront their own expectations. He asked an uncomfortable question without speaking a single word. Do you love me for who I am, or for who you want me to be? As the conversation continues to evolve, one thing is becoming increasingly clear. This moment will be referenced for years to come, not just as a bold artistic choice, but as a cultural shift. A reminder that even the most polished idols are still human beings with edges, contradictions, and a desire to break free. Whether fans ultimately embrace this version of Jungkook fully or remain divided, the impact is undeniable. The line has been crossed. The door has been opened, and there is no going back to the way things were before. So the real question isn't whether Jungkook went too far. The real question is far more unsettling. Was this the wildest version of Jungkook, or just the beginning of something even more shocking that ARMY isn't ready for yet?